What's up, Taiwan? I'm Eric Gao. Thank you for joining us. Germany is in mourning after at least 5 people were killed and over 200 injured in an attack on a crowded Christmas market. Flowers and candles cover the ground near a Christmas market in eastern Germany, where on Friday night, tragedy struck. A man rammed an SUV into the crowded market in Magdeburg, killing at least 5 people and injuring more than 200. A 3-minute attack that's shocked the country.
Was für eine furchtbare Tat ist das, dort mit solcher Brutalität so viele Menschen zu verletzen und zu töten. Und deshalb will ich hier als Bundeskanzler auch die Solidarität des ganzen Landes und aller, die in Deutschland Verantwortung tragen, in dieser Sache versichern. Das geht zutiefst zu Herzen und wir müssen hier zusammenstehen.
High-level German officials attended a memorial event near the market on Saturday, with large crowds gathering outside. The suspect, who was arrested at the scene, has been identified by local media as Taleb al-Abdul-Mohsen, a 50-year-old medical doctor from Saudi Arabia who had been living in Germany for nearly 2 decades. Officials have not identified a motive, but he is thought to have acted alone. And some local officials are saying it could have to do with Taleb's frustration with how Germany has handled refugees from Saudi Arabia. He was active on social media, where he shared anti-Islamic posts and promoted conspiracy theories that Germany is spreading Islam in Europe.
Wir können zum jetzigen Zeitpunkt nur gesichert sagen, dass der Täter offensichtlich islamophob war. Das können wir schon bestätigen. Alles andere obliegt den weiteren Ermittlungen. Da müssen wir jetzt abwarten.
The attack has also prompted far-right protesters to gather in Magdeburg, calling for the remigration or forced return of immigrants to their home countries. Meanwhile, prosecutors say the suspect will pay a heavy price.
Gegenwärtiger Stand des Tatvorwurfs wäre praktisch 5-facher Mord bislang, weil wir eben 5 Verstorbene haben und 205 Mal versuchter Mord in Tateinheit mit gefährlicher.
The Christmas market, now surrounded by police tape, will be closed for the rest of the holiday season. Other local Christmas markets have ended early out of solidarity for the victims, with increased security at those that remain open. John Su, Cadence Karanta, and Eric Gao for TaiwanPlus. Demonstrators both supporting and opposing South Korean President Yoon Suk-yeol have come out in force in the country's capital. Some protesters called for South Korea's top court to uphold Yoon's impeachment, holding signs demanding his arrest. Meanwhile, counter-protesters gathered nearby, calling for his full restoration of power. This comes a week after the president was impeached over his short-lived declaration of martial law. Yoon's presidential powers have been suspended, but he remains in office. He has not responded to the Constitutional Court's attempts to contact him. The top court will decide next week whether to remove him from office or restore his presidential powers. Those legal proceedings on Yoon's political future will begin in South Korea's court on Christmas Day. To learn more about what's happening in South Korea, Alec McDonald spoke to Jae-Han Park, professor of international studies at Nanyang Technological University.
Jae-Han Park, now that President Yoon Suk-yeol has been impeached, how has the political and societal temperature changed?
Obviously, a lot of people will say that the political climate in South Korea is pretty polarized and tense. This has been true along the regional cleavages, gender and generational lines. But I think at the elite level, the situation is a little bit more muted, or if you will, a little bit more sophisticated. So obviously the immediate question is how to form the governing body to steer the crisis that the South Korea is in. So the opposition party has been proposing that there should be a sort of an intra-party or bipartisan governing body to deal with the situation. In contrast, the ruling party has been arguing in favor of sort of a ruling party and a coalition between the ruling party and the executive branch. I think that the fundamental issue that divides the parties is whether how to deal with the speed of impeachment process, and that relates to the issue of the opposition party leader Lee Jae-myung's legal battles.
So with that process in mind, what is the potential timetable for impeachment?
According to our Constitution, the Constitutional Court has to decide on the case within 180 days. Now there are some, now President Yoon has been dragging his feet in terms of receiving the documents from the Constitutional Court and so on and so forth. But once the decision is made, there should be an election within 2-month time frame. So it can take anywhere from, as early as 4 months all the way to 8 months or something. If you look at the past instances, President Roh's impeachment trial took give or take 60 days. President Park's impeachment trial it took 90 days or so, and now the opposition party is calling the Constitutional Court to make the decision quicker. So we'll see what happens. There are some technical issues concerning the appointment of Constitutional Court judges. Whether the acting president has the authority to do so, and if not, whether the Constitutional Court can decide on the case.
What is the public sentiment towards the interim president, Han Duck-soo, and how can he effectively lead during this time of political turmoil?
So one thing to note about him is that he's actually a very capable man who has served in both conservative and progressive administrations. I think he graduated from Seoul National, top of his class. He went to Harvard. He began his career as a public servant at the Economic Planning Board, which was cream of the crop of the Korean civil servants. So he's a very capable man serving the nation very faithfully across the board. And I think he served as the ambassador to the United States at one point. But the problem is at the domestic political level, he's in a very precarious situation. He recently vetoed 6 laws proposed by the opposition party. And the opposition party initially threatened to impeach him again. And then sort of they walked back on this threat. But moving forward, I think he's going to be in a very precarious waters. And as capable as he is, he's not a career politician, and he's more of a career technocrat. So he's going to have very limited bandwidth in terms of doing anything drastic.
That was Jae-Han Park from Nanyang Technological University. The Defense Ministry says a potential U.S. arms sale to Taiwan would enhance the country's joint operations capabilities.
目的在满足国军联战直管系统升级的需求。我想，美国基于《台湾关系法》与6项保证，持续协助台湾维持足够的自我防卫能力。
The U.S. Defense Department on Friday notified Congress of the $295 million arms sale to Taiwan. This would include a naval gun system and an advanced joint operations data link system that is used by NATO and other U.S. allies. The U.S. provides aid to Taiwan to boost its defensive capabilities under its Taiwan Relations Act. China's foreign ministry has condemned this potential arms sale, saying it violates agreements between the U.S. and China. Meanwhile, the U.S.-Taiwan Business Council says Taipei may propose an ambitious arms purchase plan to President-elect Donald Trump's administration. The council's president, Rupert Hammond Chambers, made the comments in a press release responding to the potential arms sale. Hammond Chambers said that Taiwan could increase its defense budget to enhance its maritime capabilities. Taiwan aims to work directly with the incoming Trump administration to ensure continued defense support for Taipei. The Health Ministry has released a draft law meant to crack down on betel nut consumption. If passed, vendors who sell the addictive stimulant would be forced to register with the government and undergo inspections. Betel nut would also be banned in public spaces, and underage children and pregnant women would be barred from consuming it.
如果一旦上路以后，我们才会定那些执法规。当然执法规我们一定会考虑到是小摊贩，会有经过一些宣导跟辅导的措施。
Betel nut is carcinogenic, and Taiwan has one of the highest rates of oral cancer in the world. Taiwan is launching initiatives to boost tourist spending as foreign visitor expenditures remain below pre-pandemic levels. The Tourism Administration reported nearly 6.5 million international visitors in 2023. Travelers are staying longer but spending 8% less than before the pandemic. Working with the Economic Ministry, the administration hopes to drum up tourist spending by promoting Taiwan's affordable duty-free products and unique local souvenirs.
台湾的一些精品，其实我们在也做一些市场调查，我们的免税商店里面的酒跟名牌包其实是最便宜的，甚至跟泰国做比较的话，我们都会比它还便宜2成。
International visitor numbers for all of 2024 are projected to reach 7 to 8 million. The National Palace Museum's annual costume party has offered a blast from the past. Partygoers went all out, with many dressed as characters from ancient Chinese dynasties, transporting the museum back in time. Cadence Quaranta reports.
People from different Chinese dynasties, from hundreds or even thousands of years ago, gather at the National Palace Museum in Taipei. Or at least, they're dressed like it.
我今天打扮主要是唐朝的打扮，我姓李，李就是那个 Tang Dynasty 的姓，对，他就是姓李，然后所以我就觉得那个很像是跟我有亲戚的感觉，对对对，所以今天就特别选了这样的造型，这样子。
清朝，以前那个时代的指甲留很长，他们要保护它不要断掉，所以会用这个夹子把它带着保护它，保护指甲不会断。那指甲越长越尊贵。
The National Palace Museum is home to hundreds of thousands of Chinese artifacts, most brought over from China by the nationalists in 1948 and 1949, as they were losing the Chinese Civil War to Communist Party forces. This year, around 2,000 people joined the museum's annual costume party, and while many were dressed in traditional Chinese outfits, others brought a more modern twist.
I just get this idea from the Met Gala in 2020 called Gilded Glamour, and I just wanted to look like a rich German heiress, going to the opera. Yeah, so it's just like opera coat with suit.
This year's theme is based on Dream of the Red Chamber. It's an 18th century book that's considered one of the 4 great classical novels of Chinese literature. Inside here is a special exhibit that's supposed to take people through the fictional world of the book. The museum's Dream of the Red Chamber exhibit displays objects mentioned in the novel, a story about a prominent Qing dynasty family. Partygoers could visit the exhibit, and one of the museum's deputy directors said the hope is they'll gain a better understanding of the book.
那时候你看这个文物一定是最美的，而且当你开始发现它是一个美的文物，你就会想说为什么他要这样做，它的背景是什么？我们故宫达到目的。
Many attendees said the exhibit made the story feel more real.
就是有一种好像看到就是以前在书上的那些文字，然后变成了一个实体化，就更有一个实际的感觉。
我小时候课本里面都会介绍《红楼梦》这样，然后我们都会很像就是我们年轻的时候会读的小说，然后就觉得很有趣。那在这里面一些小物件的展品，然后就让我们觉得说，就是能够对于那个书中的那种想象就变得比较具体，然后就觉得这本书更有意思。
But some of the party's younger attendees weren't as impressed.
We didn't learn a thing because they're just boring rocks and plates. I don't know why they show up in the museum.
In keeping with the theme, performers interpreted scenes from the book. And regardless of what attendees thought of the exhibition, for one night, they could experience some of the culture of a bygone age. Eason Chen, Devin Tsai, and Cadence Quaranta for TaiwanPlus.
Thanks for joining us for What's Up Taiwan. Download our app to get our latest news reports directly on your device. Finally, we leave you with more images from the costume party at the National Palace Museum here in Taipei. I'm Eric Gao. Enjoy the rest of your weekend.
For more stories from here in Taiwan and around the world, be sure to check out our website at TaiwanPlus.com. Good shot.
In the face of adversity, the power of truth.
A roadmap for a just and open world, charted by the freest country in Asia.
Taipei for TaiwanPlus.
TaiwanPlus News, a voice of freedom in Asia.